Welcome back to Off the Console, the hottest new podcast that's all about gaming, tech news, and anything nerdy. This week we're covering the biggest news, which includes Xbox coming out with their own handheld, kind of. Switch 2 released with horrible results. Wait, no, we'll find out. I think it did pretty well. And then also we have a lot of other good news from the multiple events that are going on this month.
There's a lot going on, I know.
So we're aiming to hit 100 or 1,000 subs, that is. So make sure to, at least on YouTube, so make sure to go over there. Even if you listen to us on another podcasting platform, go over there and subscribe to us. It helps. And then also make sure to like the video if you're watching it. Okay. With me today is High Tech.
Yes, hello.
So, High Tech, what have you been doing this week? What have you been playing?
So, I've been playing a bunch of Next Fest demos. There are quite a few, and I think it's best if we save that topic for later.
Yes.
Aside from that, though, I've been playing Mario Kart 8. I mean, not 8. Mario Kart World. I mean, it's a pretty good game, but I don't know if I'd say it's a $80 pretty good game.
Is it 89 or 79?
It's $79.99.
Ugh.
So it's $80.
I'm sorry. Like, here's the thing. Mario games are, like, Nintendo games are fun, like, first party, like Mario and all that. Like, the only game I'd probably be willing to pay that much money for is Luigi's Mansion 4, if it's truly good enough. Like, Luigi's Mansion 3 was awesome. But
Luigi's Mansion 4, honestly, man, I've only ever played the first one.
3 is really fun, and it's something I'd really have a lot of fun with. Like, my wife Susie loves it, my kids like it. Like, it's a fun game. I really like the spookiness to it. But I'm not here for the $79 price for those types of games, like for Nintendo games.
Well, not just Nintendo games, all like AAA games in the future. Have you seen the price? Have you seen the price for the Outer Worlds too?
No, I didn't. So is it that?
It's
is
$80.
I mean, I'd probably buy it. It's the same thing. Like, if I was a big Grand Theft Auto fan and it was $100, I'd pay $100 for it. I've just had this stage in my life where I'll buy the games I really want, and I'll just buy less of the other games I'm just not sure about. It kind of sucks for, I think, I don't know. Inflation's a thing. We've talked about that. $80 makes sense with inflation, but it is starting to edge into that. There's other games that, like Cyberpunk 2077, that's going to be, what, $60, I think, that's $60 on Switch too, but it's also a 4-year-old game.
Is it?
But is it true?
Cyberpunk.
It's
Switch.
not 80. At least when I went to GameStop.
I know it's not 80, but I thought it was like
maybe
70
it's 70.
on Switch.
Maybe it's 70. It's $20 less. Which, okay, it is a, it's a 3, 4, 5, whatever year old game, but
yeah,
it has so much content in it.
Yeah, it's $70 on Switch, but it also comes with, the DLC. So, I mean, I could kind of excuse it almost. $10 being $10 more.
Yeah, I mean, there's a licensing fee that they also have to pay. If they didn't have that, then they maybe would have dropped it, but down to 60. But I don't know. I go back and forth on this whole, like, games costing so much. You got to give me the value. I think that's what it comes down to. You got to give me the value, and I'll pay for it. So,
yeah, I'm not looking forward to the $80 gaming reality. So,
yeah, I'm going to be leaning it more, I think, into, like, trying to review games so I can get them for free.
Yeah, so here's a real question, though. So I think GTA 6 is guaranteed to be $80, but do you think they're going to try to bump the price up to $100?
No, what I think they'll do is they'll do like the bare bones $80, and then they'll do some special edition, or like the edition that probably everyone's going to want at $100.
And then like a collector's edition at like $300. Like,
honestly, they could probably do a gold plated like Desert Eagle, like a real one, for $1,000, and people would buy that.
That does sound pretty cool.
I guess Desert Eagles have a big impact though, like, meaning like they're.
I don't think it would be a functional one, because I'm pretty sure Desert Eagles are more expensive than that. Like an actual functional one.
But they made so much money off this that it doesn't matter, does it? They could make like 100 of those special editions and just like charge $1,000.
100 of those, and like scalpers get 99 of them, and content creators get like one as well. All the big GTA content creators, whoever they are.
I don't know. Handing out real weapons like that doesn't sound like a good idea.
They're not gonna come on, dude. They're not gonna hand out.
They're not going to, but you never know. They like their spicy marketing, so
Yeah, they'll probably hand out like a realistic one that's like made out of metal and shit, but it's non-functional and it has that orange like prerequisite tip where the barrel would go, like that you kind of have to have on like airsoft and stuff.
yeah. But what the way America's going, like we're loosening up a lot of gun laws, so we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of loosening up, okay, there's no segue. But what I've been doing this week is been playing Half-Life Alyx and Expedition 33. I'm slowly getting through all of it while I'm working on my projects. And Half-Life Alyx is so good. There's so many people that just did not get to play that because it's VR.
Yeah, like me.
I know.
Yeah.
It is so good. Visually, it's just Valve knows what they're doing when they make a video game like that, and they need to make more of them.
The problem is that Valve is very much an innovator. That they want to be an innovator in the games industry. Otherwise, we get shit like remember Artifact.
Yeah, they are an innovator. Like almost every game they come out with a couple of duds is an innovative game and Half-Life Alyx was one of those. And
I think
the next Half-Life game will be too.
I think the Valve's trying to figure out what that innovation is.
They're scared of success. I think Half-Life Alyx helped with the success, meaning they didn't do a Gordon Freeman, they did the Alyx, and I think it helped them like, okay, we can do this. Gave them some confidence back because I read reports like years ago that they've tried multiple times to do a Half-Life 3 and people just got scared of the project and and how Valve works is you kind of almost work on the project you want to work on and just not enough people want to work on that.
Yeah. If this were
such
like
a weird
standard,
company.
Yeah, if it were just like a standard gaming company where you had deadlines and shit, we'd probably be like to like Half-Life 20 or some bullshit like that, right?
Half-Life just died a while ago.
Half-Life 1 remake.
We do have a Half-Life 1 remake.
Half-Life 2 remake.
I bet we'll have a Half-Life 2 remake by the next few years. I'm kind of hoping the studio that did
Black Mesa,
because they were acquired by Valve, actually.
Were they?
I'm pretty sure they're towards the end of their development. I think Valve just ended up either they're paying them like just full time as like a third party, or I'm pretty sure they acquired them. But they tend to do that, right?
Yeah, but the problem is that a lot of the guys they acquired just end up working on Dota. Or
I don't think in this case. I think these are huge Half-Life fanboys, and I bet you some of them are working. Like if they didn't acquire them, they'd probably grab some of them to work on Half-Life. We know that there's a Half-Life X, so.
Dude, Half-Life X is such a cool name. Do you think they're gonna actually call it that, or is that just like an internal thing?
It could be internal because because the number number 3 has a lot of weight behind it. If you see anything 3 of Valve, if Valve mentioned anything like we're gonna release this on the 3rd week, people will just freak out and like, well, that's Half-Life 3 confirmed. So
Life X would be a pretty sick name. Like
would be.
Add an X to anything like Mega Man X or like Malcolm X. It's just better.
Okay, Xbox Series X it is then.
Okay, that's okay. All right, never mind. You got me there.
I'm not against it. Like Half-Life X sounds cool, but it should be something different than like you're playing as like a Vortigaunt or something. But okay. Yeah, I've been playing Half-Life Alyx. Expedition 33 still is amazing game, and I've just got done with the Act 1, so Act 2 is there's a lot that happens between those two. And I'm just taking my time on that game. It's probably going to take me I don't know if I'm going to 100% it, but I'm probably going to spend like I don't know. I think it's, what is it, like normally like a 20, 30 hour game. I'll probably end up spending 50, 60.
Yeah, so there were some very interesting discussions about the pairing and dodging system. And then some people on Twitter were like, some big accounts on Twitter that typically don't talk about JRPGs. They typically talk about shit like Rockstar games, or like, this should be the standard moving forward for JRPGs. Do you think that should be the case? Do you think Persona 6 should have a dodging and parrying mechanic similar to E33.
I don't think there should be a standard in that way. I think that's stupid to have a standard. The pairing system is, there needs to be some type of interactivity or some extra like days of playing, turn-based where it's very simple, where you strategize and just like, okay, I'm going to like, I know in a couple of turns, I need to make sure I heal. Strategizing like that is still here, but there needs to be some extra ways to either strategize or add gameplay, fun gameplay. And I think Expedition did a good job. I don't think it should be the standard because it does, I'll be honest, it gets a little annoying sometimes because with these types of games, I like to, especially if I'm just grinding, I'll watch something while I grind. And if I have to parry, then that kind of kills that for me. And it makes the gameplay after a while a little stale if you keep on going after the same enemy. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah, so what's our first topic of the day, James?
Our first topic is something that I was right about, kind of. Xbox Handheld, aka the Asus ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X is coming out.
All right, let me just say, that is a horrible name for a product. What the fuck? If you read the whole thing out for the Ally X, it's Asus ROG Xbox Ally X. What the fuck?
It's okay. I think it's fine because you can just call it the Xbox Ally or the Xbox Ally X. You don't need to even say ROG anymore. But it is frustrating. So like with the Xbox Series X, that's worse, I think. But I guess it tracks. Xbox Ally X, okay. It tracks with the naming convention that the Xbox does. But yeah, so Microsoft and Asus have teamed up to attempt to take on the SteamOS hegemony with both a new, more powerful handheld and updates to Windows that promises to be better for gaming handhelds. The Fox, Retro Games Corp, and then Linus Tech Tips and others have had true hands-on experience with the device, but not us naturally because we're less than.
Wow.
I can't believe you wrote that out, that we're less than. But yeah, I watched Linus play with it and it honestly looks interesting.
Yeah, I've seen the Fox's video as well as Retro Game Corp's video.
Yeah.
And it's a super interesting prospect, seeing what appears to be a more optimized version of Windows. Because, as we all know, Windows' greatest flaw is just how shit the interface is for controller use.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. I know that we saw leaks of this. Yes. A few weeks ago, right? And you and Gardner did not like the design at all. I didn't mind it, and I'm still here for it because I don't think it's going to feel much different than a regular, like, even Steam Deck. But my biggest disappointment is that it's a 7-inch screen and not like an 8-inch. It looked like it should be a bigger screen.
Okay, like, my issue with the design is that it's just ugly. Like, I get it. It probably looks more comfortable. It probably is more comfortable. I just don't like the handlebars on the side, okay?
You don't like handlebars?
It's also just like the PlayStation Portal. I don't like the design of that either, even though the handlebars are literally just like a DualSense controller. It just looks weird for a handheld.
It looks weird. I think it's partially because we're conditioned with different ideas of what a handheld looks like. I think this is going to be more comfortable than than the ROG Ally, or than the ROG Ally, just the regular one. It looks like it's going to be like holding the Xbox. I think you and Gardner, I don't know about Gardner, but like I think you might get used to the way this looks in the future, and it might not be as bad. I think it's because it's just a weird new design, but it looks more comfortable, I will say, than the ROG Ally.
Yeah,
the ROG Ally is comfortable. It's not that like this looks like you're just holding a controller, and that's the plus of the PlayStation and this is that it's great to feel like you're at home with like if you're used to playing those devices, it's good to make sure that the people that are going to buy it are going to feel at home with that Xbox controller style. Steam Deck is pretty close to having it be like an Xbox controller, but it has their own, like it feels great nonetheless, but like these look more ergonomic.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Steam Deck even.
Yeah, so the ROG Ally X2... Oh, I'm just going to call it the Ally 2. It's just up there that way. Yeah.
I should probably share the screen.
Yes, you probably should. But do you have a screen? Do you have a screen of the specs? Because I do want to talk about the specs of the two.
Yes,
devices.
Let's get down to the specs.
The two variants. Yes.
These are awesome. Let's see here. I'm just going to make sure.
So we have the ROG Xbox Ally X and ROG Xbox Ally. They're a lot of the major spec differences come down to the processor, the memory, the included storage, which isn't super relevant, and some I/O ports, as well as the battery capacities. They're calling it the Ryzen AI Z2 Extreme. Come on. Come on! You had such a good thing!
They really got to simplify all this shit because, like, for us, we can track it a little bit better. And even I get a little mixed. Like, what's the Z2A? What is this?
So, if you recall the leaks, they mentioned that the white one would have something similar to the Aerith, the Steam Deck APU. So,
yeah,
the speculation is that that one's going to be kind of similar to the Steam Deck, like maybe a little more performant, probably, but similar to the Steam Deck in terms of like performance or like layout, because it's RDNA 2 based.
Yeah, I don't get going that. I know what this one's going to be though. We all know that and it's the white one, which, if you like white, you're going to get a downgraded version. This is going to be a streaming device. The ROG Xbox Ally, just the regular one. It's going to be
a streaming indie.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, if you have a Steam Deck, you definitely wouldn't want to get this one, in my opinion, unless you really want to stream Xbox. Because if you have an Xbox Game Pass, you can stream their Game Pass titles that they have,
like through xCloud, right?
Yeah, and so this is, I think, what it's geared towards is. But the Ally X has that Z2 Extreme, so it's going to be as powerful as, the Legion Go 2 and any device that's going to have that Z2 Extreme. Do you think adding that AI to this Z2 is they're adding more like AI cores to it or something? I'm really confused by that.
It might just be a branding thing, because
I'm thinking that too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're going to add AI. I mean, realistically, what AI thing are you going to do besides?
So adding AI cores to any device is pretty common nowadays, partially because there's going to be more and more use for it. You'll see. I
can't think of a single game that makes use of like the NPUs I've seen in current processors.
So, well, the future is that you could potentially do dialogue generation and some other stuff. Like they're very good at doing tasks that would require something like, let's say you wanted to do, because we've seen it, like ChatGPT do, people like integrate that into Grand Theft Auto, and you can talk to NPCs in a very more, like, you can ask them different things and they'll answer in a more realistic way as much as AI can. They could integrate something like that internally. Don't know if that's actually what they're going for, but they could.
I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying that from what I understand right now, a lot of current games that would do that, they just rely on the CPU, like the standard like CPU cores as it is, instead of specific NPUs. But of course, I'm sure things can change, but still.
It's baked in. That's how they're doing it. It's probably cheaper to just go this route because they're just their NPUs are the standard for any APU nowadays. And it has been, honestly, I think it's been a shadow standard for a few years now. If you bought, I wouldn't be surprised if the Z1 had some NPUs on it. It's the standard nowadays.
I think, yeah, I mean,
the
Z1 Extreme was based on an AMD APU that has NPUs, but I think the NPUs were stripped out of the Z1 Extreme.
Okay. I could see them going straight into because the NPUs are becoming more, like, operating systems are starting to actually utilize NPUs, so I could see it being useful in games eventually. What I'm saying is I would rather see them there than not, as long as it doesn't hinder anything else. So
yeah. So also you can see here there's more memory in the Black model, and it's faster memory as well.
Yeah, the faster, like, that makes sense though. Like, you don't need to pair really fast memory with the Z2A processor. I just don't think it's going to benefit. You're going to be bottlenecked in other places, but this is the new standard for at least bare minimum. I think for any flagship devices from here on out is going to be 24 to 32 gigs, which I like to see. Honestly, that's a really good, yeah.
It's enough.
It's a really good sign.
It's enough to give you 8 gigs of VRAM and then allocate 16 gigs to the just regular system memory as well.
Yeah.
Which, begs the question, why do we still keep getting like low-end 8 GB graphics cards when like these APUs, these devices are coming with enough RAM to give us 8 gigs of VRAM?
The beautiful thing about unified memory is that it allows you to have more memory depending on what game. Some games are more system memory oriented, and some games are more like texture based or game or like VRAM hungry, right? And so with the textures, so it just really depends on. And I think Unified does help with this. So some games could benefit more from 12 gigs. And that is, I think, what I like about Unified. Has its own problems, but I think they're slowly being erased. One of the problems being you can't replace, if you have an APU, you can't replace the graphics card at that point. But you have the benefit of not having to worry about if you have enough memory. Because I just don't think NVIDIA is releasing their cards with enough memory. I think they're really trying to shoot for that DLSS and save money.
Man, screw those guys. Anyways. Anyway.
I think DLSS is okay. Like, I'm honestly not against it. I think the Switch 2 heavily uses it.
I mean, I'm not saying I dislike DLSS. I'm saying screw those guys for trying to cheap out on memory. I think 16 gigs should be the standard moving forward for VRAM
100%
and RAM.
Like, it really should be.
Even Apple has moved to 16 gigs minimum now for like a lot of their newer devices that aren't iPhones.
Yeah. I mean, they need to move to 32. They're a little behind, but
they should. Yeah, I agree. But if Apple's doing it, then what the fuck is NVIDIA doing?
I know. I have 96 gigs of unified memory on my Mac Studio. I love it.
All right. So storage.
I just need games to run it.
So storage, it comes with 1 terabyte default compared to 512 gigs. I mean, you can just replace it yourself. It's an easier upgrade.
Yeah.
So the screen for both models, it's the exact same. And it's the same screen we have on our existing ROG Allies.
Is it?
I mean, it reads the same because it's the same resolution, same like rated nits, same aspect ratio, same refresh rate. It's got VSync as well. I can't think of anything new that they've added to the screen.
The screen's not bad, honestly.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the screen's great.
The screen's great. Maybe they went this route to try to make the device cheaper because they already have it in production, so they don't have to do anything else to ramp up costs. I could see them doing that.
Yeah.
Still would have liked an 8-inch, but
Or an OLED. Yeah.
OLED, man. I don't know. I was wrong about the Steam Deck. I think the Steam Deck OLED really does help visually, but I still like. There's some games I've been playing. I'm just like, I just wish I like Expedition. I've been playing that on the Ally, and it's just I don't like it as much as on the big screen because there's certain things I just can't see as well detail wise, and I think having that extra 1 inch alone would really help with it.
You know what device is gonna have very refresh rate OLED and a bigger screen?
The ROG Ally?
No, the Legion Go 2 Pro. Yeah, I mean, reading the specs on that, it makes it seem like that's going to be like the device to get. And it's it's a Legion Go.
Yeah.
And it looks more. Anyways,
I really don't like the software of the Legion Go 1. I heard that they're making it better, but with Xbox mode coming out, as long as it comes to the Legion Go, I think that's my go-to device in the future.
I mean, I probably wouldn't use Legion software either, except for like the side panels. I mean, that works out pretty well in my opinion, but everything else is just not great.
When I had it, everything about it was so clunky. I was shocked. But it sounds like they watched my review on it and they must have fixed it because of me.
Wow.
I doubt they saw anything on that.
It's probably a common complaint, though, to be honest.
It is a common complaint.
All right.
I'm just messing. I'm not that important. It's making me happy. But Wi-Fi C is interesting when Wi-Fi 7's out. They must be using the same chip as the Ally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people have Wi-Fi 7. I certainly don't have Wi-Fi 7.
No, but it's always nice to like be a little bit ahead of the curve if you want these devices to last long, and because especially like the Ally will benefit greatly from Wi-Fi 7. The bandwidth on it is much more
Yeah,
consistent, and that's really important when streaming games is that consistency.
I agree. Oh, we
So,
got to go back to the I/O because there's a difference in the I/O.
oh yeah, we can go back. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
jumping to that because that took me. There is a big difference actually.
Yeah, so both have two USB Type-C ports, but the Ally X, one of them is a USB 4 port, which means you can plug in like an external GPU. It's Thunderbolt 4 as well, actually.
Yeah, it is. That was what was shocking is that it's Thunderbolt 4 compatible, which means eGPU, right?
Right.
And that is also a bare minimum for me. So this or the Legion Go 2 are kind of like in my realm of what I'll probably buy because I'm going to be replacing my whole setup with this device and an eGPU so I can play it throughout the house much easier. That's just how I want to do it now. Like it just seems so much fun to have like a gaming device and then I have my Mac for, work. So, and that
Uh-huh.
Thunderbolt 4 is in my opinion, I think Thunderbolt is better than USB 4 just like on its own. You get a little bit better consistency, but it is interesting that they're paying that tax to Intel because it does cost money. It's trademarked and it's a technology that Intel owns.
Yes.
Interesting they didn't go with Thunderbolt 5 though, but that must be like a AMD limitation.
It makes sense. Also, the micro SD card slots UHS-2, which it's at like okay, so you have an ROG Ally, right? Have you ever used a UHS-2 micro SD card?
No. Does it have UHS 2 on the
The
current
original,
just Ally?
yeah, the current Ally and Legion goes. They both have UHS-2 micro SD cards, but I've never used one either.
Huh.
And Nintendo decided to make everything micro SD Express, and so I think that might have benefited them here as well. I mean, I think they really should have gone with micro SD Express.
Yeah, I would like these companies, man. I'd really like to see things standardized more. Like that's the beautiful thing about USB Type C. Even though you have USB 3, 4, and Thunderbolt kind of variants, it's still nice to use. Like it's getting closer to being unified. But the micro SD card stuff, like I've had to do multiple videos because it really matters. If you're going to be playing a game off of it, it really matters if you don't cheap out. UH the UHS too, like those are like all those are really expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're more expensive than micro SD Expresses, and not to mention, micro SD Express is faster than UHS-2 and UHS-1 for
Yeah,
that matter.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
so
really expensive. They're typically, I think, for
like
video recording and stuff, but
yeah, they're for cameras.
yeah,
Yeah. Let's
it
see.
it's good though. At least we're moving on to something better, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully the Steam Deck 2, when that comes out, uses micro
Hmm.
SD Express.
Yeah, it uses one of them because, and then it's backwards compatible, of course.
Let's see, the battery. Let's see. So the dimensions, it weighs a little more, the Ally X, and that's presumably because of the battery. Look at that battery difference. 20 watt hour difference between
Yeah,
the two models.
I mean that's good. You're good, like that Ally, if it does have all the specs that we're thinking, will last a very long time with 60 watts. The Ally X, 80 watts, will probably get like with the way how power hungry it is and everything, it will probably be similar to like what the Steam Deck gets.
The Ally X has pretty good battery life,
Yeah,
but I don't know how much more power hungry the Z2 Extreme is compared to the Z1 Extreme.
it's got like it's got. I would still say the Ally X has okay battery life. The Ally has horrible, but
But yeah, no, don't
it
even
is
give
what
me.
it is.
Yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't bother me that much because I'm usually near a battery bank or a outlet. So yeah,
So yeah, I mean the specs are cool, but I think the most interesting prospect, of course, is the change to Windows. because
Yeah.
everyone's been complaining that Windows, and it looks like Microsoft's finally realized that Windows sucks for handhelds.
I don't think they realize. I think they're ignoring it because they're doing such a big AI play on it.
Wait, scroll down real quick. Look, it's Silksong, dude. The
That's so
trade
funny.
that is insane. Like we got brand new Silksong footage for the Ally trailer. What the fuck?
I think that's so funny. They paired it. And the thing is, this game will look better on the Steam Deck OLED. It's not going to run any better on
Dude.
this. And they're even, this right here is stream with Xbox Cloud Gaming. Why would you stream this game?
Yo, why would you stream this game?
This game is not going to be that demanding to you where you need to stream it. So, marketing wise, like if you're technical, doesn't make sense. If you're the average person, I don't think it matters that much. But what a weird way to pair that all up. But you're getting Silksong. There you go, man.
Dude, the Silksong community is gonna be like, oh, they're gonna cancel the ROG Ally X in September, and then we'll never get Silksong.
I don't think they're going to be tied together like that. They just
Yeah, they say it's not tied together, but they're coping, especially at that Deadpool stunt. It sent r/Silksong to a frenzy. It's insane.
why?
Because some people were genuinely pissed off that Deadpool skipped the Silksong trailer or some bullshit like that.
Oh,
And there were, and a lot of people took it as it was a joke, but some crazies on the internet. Those are always crazies on the internet, but like,
every fan bases can be very toxic.
yep, there were death threats to Team Cherry and also Ryan Reynolds. It was insane.
I'm sorry, but if you have to death threat, man, you need to go out and touch grass. Like there should be almost nothing you should be death threatening about.
Yeah, I mean, really, there's nothing I can think of. But hey, Silksong, I'll probably play on my Ally. I mean my Steam Deck, and maybe I'll play it on my ROG Xbox Ally X.
Just handheld Xbox for me, and the only one that really matters is the black one because it's the Ally X.
Yeah.
I don't care about. It's like the same thing with the Ally. I don't think the original Ally with it's the trimmed down version. I don't think it did as well. I always saw it on sale, and they were trying to get rid of it because
The Z1 or the Z1 Extreme version?
the Z1, the Z1
Yeah.
Extreme is the one to get.
Yes.
Because why with the Z1? Why not you should just get a Steam Deck at that point? It's not like it's going to be able to play any of the games that you want to play on Windows that are DRM or that not DRM, but like Call of Duties and stuff like that.
Yes. So I do find the addition of the Xbox button. I am a little concerned though because like, what if I accidentally press that while I'm moving my stick to the top right?
I don't think you're going to, but you might play fighting games a little different because I don't know. I'm not too worried about it.
I don't use the analog stick with fighting games. I use the D-pad.
That's right. I'm sure they test this out. I'm sure it's gonna be fine.
Yeah. That said,
That'd be a funny blunder if it was very easily pressed while playing games with the left joystick.
yeah, that would be bullshit if that happened. Yeah. But let's talk about the Xbox button because technically speaking, no current handheld has an Xbox button that functions like an Xbox button. Like the Aya Neo has a button like that, but it's actually just the Windows G shortcut, which is not the same, by the way.
Right.
If this
You
is
can
like
map it though.
yeah, you can map it, but it's not the same as having a true hardware Xbox button,
Yeah.
which no like handheld has for some reason.
It's probably branding. Like they couldn't just put an Xbox on there.
No,
Thing
I mean
unless-
they could. I mean they couldn't put the Xbox symbol on there, but I'm sure they could have put the an actual like Xbox button instead of just making it Windows G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I have no clue what the limit. Like Windows is bizarre with the way that they integrate gaming into it, but it sounds like we're going to be getting a lot of like good integrations into it. So I think this is a good start. Maybe we'll see more handhelds have the Xbox or a similar button mapped to it, or you can. I'm hoping with the Legion Go 2 that I'll be able to map this type of the functionality of this Xbox button to one of their built-in buttons that they have.
I guess we'll find out soon enough. I think, yeah. So, in addition to this, though, I mean, I think another major handheld released very recently. Any guesses as to what it is?
It's the PlayStation handheld.
Wrong answer. It's
It is the Nintendo Switch 2.
2. Yes, yes, yes. So I actually got one of these. A viewer sent one over with the Mario Kart bundle, and it's a lot of fun. Switch 1 was a lot of fun for a while, but then the Steam Deck came out and I never touched mine again.
There's even some games I play on my Switch or on my Steam Deck that are Switch related, right? Over, certain means, but I own the games, but the one that I wanted to play on the Steam Deck the most doesn't play well, and that's Luigi's Mansion 3. It does not play well on the Steam Deck.
Hey, if you get a Switch 2, it'll probably play well.
It plays well on my Switch right now.
So I am super interested in. So, funny story. I published a post on my YouTube channel showing off the new Switch 2 inbox. I lost like 5 subscribers.
Oh yeah.
And then
I bet you if I posted on YouTube, I'd lose a couple too. But like, there's some spicy people that do not like the Switch that are in the Steam Deck community.
yeah, well, first and foremost, fuck fanboyism on both sides, on all sides. Actually,
Gatekeeping fanboyism is just like, you can have the Switch.
dude. Steam Deck fanboys and Switch fanboys are just the same people. They're just rooting for a different side. It's bullshit.
I've dealt with Switch fanboys more than I have a Steam Deck, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because there's way more Switch fanboys.
True. That makes sense.
Yeah, but anyways, regardless though, I also made a Switch 2 accessory video, and I also lost 5 subs because of that too. My fan,
they think you're becoming a Switch content creator. I can't believe you're portraying us high tech.
I can believe it. I don't have loyalty to any of these companies. I don't love Nintendo. I don't even love Valve. I know this is gonna sound like blasphemy.
Hold up.
It's gonna sound like blasphemy to you. But like loyalty to a brand is just a big mistake.
Loyalty to a brand is a mistake. They will almost always disappoint. Even Valve is disappointed a little bit. But I have a lot of copium with it, so it's fine. If they disappoint me a little bit, it's not like I get disappointed by everyone else, including myself in my life. So
hey man, as long as you get Half-Life 3, it's okay, right?
Yeah, maybe. I'm not going to jinx it right now. But yes.
Yeah.
I've jinxed it enough in the past.
So the only Switch 2 specific game I own, I didn't buy any of the upgrade packs for the Zelda games yet. Because my brother has all of those Switch games, because, I don't really touch my Switch anymore. But the only Switch 2 game I have is Mario Kart World, and it's a fun game. It's a fun Mario Kart, and it might actually be the best Mario Kart. But I don't know if it's $80 fun. I don't really like the open world likeness of it, because the open worldness of the free roam area, but that's because because racing is about racing other people, not just driving around to places, in my opinion.
I might actually like that. I like the Need for Speeds when they do open world. You have to drive to an area to then race. I like the Need for Speed openness, and also Burnout was open world.
Burnout Paradise? Yeah, I do remember that.
Which I love, but I'm curious to see if they can make it interesting. And
I mean, thankfully Mario Kart World does have your standard Grand Prix. What I do like is that, alright, so the first course is just your regular course, right? But then the second course starts off with you transitioning from the first course to the second course, and then you're coursing, and it's all considered one race.
Interesting.
And then after you finish that second course, you go on to the third course, and then it transitions, and then so on and so forth.
I can see that being really fun, but also it's kind of nice to sometimes take a break between the courses.
Well, it's not a break. It's all part of the race. So if you're falling behind on the way to the second course, you're just falling behind in the race period.
That's what I'm kind of saying. I want to take a break.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also there's also Knockout Pre, which I haven't tried out yet. But it sounds like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't have Nintendo Switch Online. Let's see.
you're not gonna pay for the online to play with people that I don't know. I
I've never paid for Nintendo Switch Online.
I've paid for it maybe once because I wanted to try it. I don't know. Like maybe it was like a free promo or something. I paid for it once, and it just didn't benefit enough at all.
If I had to pay for Nintendo Switch Online, I would probably split it with my brother and our cousin and my
Mm.
other brother who has kids with a Nintendo Switch, and then it would be a lot cheaper that way. But I don't
I
feel like
don't.
doing
It's
it.
not even that expensive. That's you're paying like $1 a year at that point.
I mean,
I
yeah, but
actually
I
don't.
don't. But I don't use the Switch enough to. I don't
Yeah,
use the. I didn't use the original Switch enough to really justify that. Not to mention, I didn't really play a
agreed.
lot of like online multiplayer games.
I don't like Mario Kart is a couch co-op for me. I am playing with my kids, friends, or something like that in person, not online.
You don't want to play against the Sweat Lords from Japan.
No, no, I don't. I don't want to play it online. I just don't have any. I just don't have any. I don't know. Mario Kart alone, I've already gotten tired of a little bit. So this one does look interesting, and I do want to play it one day. But I'm already burnt out on the franchise. But I am curious because they had to do something to help make it fresh. Because if they kept on releasing Mario Karts that just look similar every year, it just wouldn't do very well. So
Well,
I'm curious about the changes.
it is a pretty different feeling Mario Kart because you can also like ride on walls and you see and
I think you can do that in the last one.
oh yeah, no, the last one it was like anti grav. It was like a specific part of the course was
Yeah,
anti
yeah,
gravity. No, in this one you have the ability to like freely jump onto walls and like go also
that's
grind on
cool.
rails, and it changes the game like substantially. There are like clips of it
Mario
doing
Kart, Tony Hawk
it's crazy shit, man.
World.
I don't know if it's actually I still don't know if it's worth $80, but I could see this being a solid 70 if it were $70 it is. Or
Look at
$50.
they've got you now wanting $70 game.
I've had no issues with $70 video games as long as it was substantially worth it.
Yeah,
The problem is that a lot of the $70 video games that were made available, they weren't that much more substantially better. Not to mention microtransactions and shit. They were all still there too.
yeah.
At least
If
with
you're
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. If you're going to release a $70-$80 game, it's got to be AAA. It's got to be like it's because you spent so much budget on this thing that's why you have to release it for that much. I get it. But there's a lot of games that and companies that really try to just release garbage games for the same amount. It's
Like
crazy.
listen, like here's my thing. Like Mario Kart World, it's $80, yes. It'll probably have a DLC later down the line because that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah.
But like look at GTA 6. That's gonna release. It's definitely gonna be $80. There's no way it's not gonna be $80 at least. And they're still gonna sell a shitload of shark cards. There's gonna be a bunch of shark cards being sold. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Like I
But
get that GTA is probably gonna be like the most expensive game ever made,
I
but
think it
it's
already
bullshit.
is at this point. I think it
Yeah.
already is the most expensive game. Yeah, I agree. I really don't like the like if you're going to charge a lot, like if they said it's going to be $100, no microtransactions, and all DLC in the future is free, awesome. But because they have Grand Theft Auto Online that makes them so much money, I just don't think they're going to do that. I think they are a little they lean too much into that whole like gambling and money needing to get money mentality.
Yeah.
They're a little bit like their Grand Theft Auto game. They want to steal. They want to rob us.
They're certainly heisting us for sure. That's what's up.
Heisting. There you go. It's the biggest heist ever. Grand Theft Auto Online.
Grand Theft Auto Online 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be coming out for Switch, isn't it?
Not that I've heard.
I thought it was, but maybe I'm wrong.
I don't I I can't imagine it coming out to Switch anytime soon.
Well, yeah, it's not going to come out for PC anyways. Day one, it's going to be Xbox and PlayStation, right?
Yep, it's Xbox and PlayStation.
Exclusive, which is they're always kind of weird with that, but
Well, because they know people will just double dip.
oh yeah, and they'll buy it. I know it's such a like for them.
No, the
At least
PC.
with
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
at least with CD Projekt Red, they screwed up, but they still do right by the their customers, by the gamers. I feel like Rockstar is just not quite like.
Well, I mean, Rockstar knows what's up with GTA. They know that PC gamers will buy it because of FOMO, and then they'll buy it again because it's on PC. And they would rather play GTA 6 at like 4K 60 FPS instead of playing it like on a PS5 where it's like up 1080p upscale.
I don't think that's why they're getting it for PC. They're getting it for the mods.
And the mods too. That's also another big selling point too.
The mods, they gotta have their not safe for work mods. They gotta have their boobies.
Yeah, and we'll talk about a very moddable game later on in the video, but
Yes.
I think it's time we. I think
Wait, is it very much? Okay, we're gonna talk about that later. I have questions for that one because that one's also very much like it's very successful, partially because of boobies. Um, yeah, yeah. Let's move on to the Summer Games Fest. Let's talk about that. Let me just switch this on over. We have more. Like we streamed it last week. It was great. Honestly, I think it was great for. I liked. There was a couple of games that came out of it that I liked. It was a little mid with some of the game releases, but you know what? If you can walk away with a couple of games that you plan on buying in the future, I think that's a win. So, what about you, High Tech, with the Summer Game Fest?
well, there were a lot of games that looked super duper interesting. But let's start with you first, since I'm sure you have some thoughts on some games on here.
Outer Worlds 2. I have not watched the trailer for it yet. I read some stuff on it, but I am super excited for Outer Worlds 2, but it's going to be an $80 game, isn't it? And so
Yep, it's an $80 video game. It's Xbox's, to my knowledge, Xbox's first $80 video game.
it will honestly, it will probably be one of the first games I buy that's $80. I just don't see myself buying anything else until that comes out.
All right, so let's go over the show. Let's go over like highlights from each show in particular. I know we probably didn't watch most of the shows. Let's go.
Where are there highlights on in here somewhere?
Well, no, not highlights, but I just want a list of like the shows there were. Oh wait, but
here?
you can also there's also the recap website that I also linked as well. That shows you every game that was announced and all the like.
Oh yeah,
things.
there we go. That's what I thought. Okay.
So I guess we'll work in reverse order. Let's see, Konami, they had Silent Hill stuff. They had Suikoden, they had Metal Gear Solid Delta. And then
I mean, they're making a Silent Hill remake, aren't they? Like the original? Wasn't that the big announcement?
Well, no, the big announcement was a brand new Silent Hill game, Silent Hill.
Oh, that's
F.
what it was. That's what it was.
And so there were a bunch of things. There were also other shows I didn't watch. A lot of these other shows were like just talking about games that were already announced or released. Like I think South of Midnight's already released, right?
Yeah, that's an
Yeah.
interesting one that they show. Maybe it's just not selling. I don't think it's selling very well, but it is an interesting game. It's just it's on Game Pass. And I plan on playing it on there. It's just yeah.
Well, yeah, well, you know, art house games don't tend to sell that well. All that, and also it's on Game
Yeah.
Pass too. That's another major thing too.
It very much hurts, and we're going to talk about that, I guess, later too.
Yeah.
It hurts the developer.
So the first major show, well, we're working in reverse order, was the PC gaming show. We got to see a bunch of new stuff like Mugenics. I think that's Edmund McCullen, whatever his name is, the guy that made Super Meat Boy and also The Binding of Isaac. That's his new game. Ultra Kill got a new trailer for Layer 8. And Ultra Kills, have you played Ultra Kill?
I feel like I have, but I haven't played it enough.
It's super sick, dude.
I've seen people play it. I shouldn't say a lot, but I've seen gameplay and a lot of stuff on it.
It really is that good, man. It's awesome, man. It's like my favorite boomer shooter right now, probably because there's so much skill expression involved as well. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's super duper hard, but it's super hard to master and really like get those P ranks. Let's see. I played Batsu, the demo for Batsu during an X Fest. It was pretty fun. It's kind of like Gang Beasts or Party Animals in a way, but with robots instead. But aside from that, though, there was some interesting stuff, but I think those were the most interesting stuff for me during that show. Did you watch the PC gaming show?
Honestly, I forgot about it. I did not.
Yeah, I didn't really watch it either, to be honest.
I actually, in the past, it's one I'm usually watching. Usually it's hosted by
PC
Day
Gamer.
9. Meaning like PC Gamer, but then like, I think Day 9's the one that doesn't. I've watched him for years, but I don't know if he did it this year or not.
All right. Yeah. So, the next up is the Xbox showcase, and there were a bunch of big
There's
announcements.
so many games.
There was a bunch of big announcements. Naturally, of course, they announced the ROG Ally device here as well.
Where's the Xbox?
Scroll up. Go to page 2. Go to page 2, actually.
Is there a page 2?
There's multiple pages. Scroll down all the way. Look at the bottom of the page.
I'm at the bottom of the page. Maybe hold up.
You don't see page 2? You don't see like the little bar that says
There
like
we go.
page 1 through 2?
I see it now. I really hate that. My Mac bar, my Mac Studio bar was over it.
Oh,
Yeah. Wow. There's so many games. Naturally.
someone described it as like a near-like, but I think it looks more like Sekiro almost, mixed with like Princess Mononoke vibes. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen the trailer for
Interesting.
Beast of Reincarnation?
No.
It actually looks pretty cool, and you wouldn't. It's a Game Freak game too, so it's being. People were surprised that Game Freak were making games that weren't Pokemon.
Yeah, that is so bizarre.
What?
It's bizarre that they're making a game like this.
Yeah, it's like
They got to get away from Pokemon.
yeah, it's crazy too. It's crazy that they showcased this at Xbox too. That's probably another wild thing as well.
Yeah.
Like the
Wow.
frame rate drops, yes, that's Game Freak, but it also doesn't. But it also doesn't look like an N64 game, to be honest.
Well, I mean, the frame rate dropping is a good sign that it's a real demo.
Yeah, it's a real demo and not just smoke and mirrors.
It looks fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I want to get it. Let's see. There's also Grounded. Let's see. There's Grounded 2, Aphelion.
Interesting.
They also announced Persona 4 Revival. They're remaking Persona 4, and I think we talked about the voice acting drama, but it's a really
Yeah.
shitty. It's a terrible trailer though. It's like 5 seconds of the main character walking, and that's it. The Persona 4 trailer.
Yeah, why? When they have.
And they also announced Final Fantasy coming to Xbox.
Okay.
Can you
I
imagine?
mean,
Yeah, the Final Fantasy 7 remake games as well as Final Fantasy 16 coming to Xbox.
Yeah.
They're
I'm
also
not
making
surprised.
they're making Invincible Tag Team Fighter as well, and they
I
also
gotta
had
see
a one
part
more.
of this.
They also made a one more announcement. Guess what game it was?
What game?
Black Ops 7.
What?
Call of Duty Black Ops 7.
I mean,
I saw the trailer. It didn't look like Call of Duty. It looked like fucking Control, or like not Control. Sorry, it looked like fucking Quantum Break. It looked like not a Call of Duty game, but it was. But no, it was Call of Duty. Is what I'm saying.
Where is it? Is it on here?
Yeah, it's on there. It's at the top. Go back up. This is in reverse order, by the way.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty, it's right next to Trash Goblin.
I
It's
don't
on
know
the
where
sec-
Trash Goblin.
It's the second row, fourth column.
It doesn't look like it. Okay, that threw me off a little bit.
The trailer doesn't look like a Call of Duty game, but maybe I'm just stupid.
I mean, it's futuristic. I love futuristic stuff.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like it too. But like the second half of the trailer had some really trippy shit too, which made me think that it wasn't Call of Duty, but it was Call of Duty.
Yeah. I like Quantum Break. Have you played Quantum Break?
I played a little bit of it.
It didn't get the best ratings, but it was pretty fun.
It was pretty fun. All right, but enough about enough about
Wow, at least they're putting some of that money into the visuals.
yeah. I mean, there's one thing I can't fault. It's
Well, that is really trippy.
yeah. Look, this doesn't look like a Call of Duty game, does it? At least this wouldn't indicate that it's a Call of Duty game, right?
He's just on LSD. That's it.
Like this looks like a horror game almost. Like the vibes here, at least.
Well, it better not be $80 because this might actually be the first Call of Duty I buy in a while.
Come on, dude. It's guaranteed to be $80, man.
Oh, but it's gonna be on Game Pass, so never mind. I'm pretty, tuned in on Game Pass these days.
Yeah, and all right, so
Honestly, I'm here for that. That's actually great that they're deviating a little bit from the typical.
I mean, are they though, or is it just a bunch of cool visuals?
Maybe that's all I want in a game like Call of Duty is cool visuals and an interesting setting. I don't play the multiplayer.
And then we can skip a lot of these other shows, to be honest. And we also did watch the main Games Fest live.
We did.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that either. The PlayStation Showcase had some pretty cool games, though. Probably the coolest one. Wait, are they not showing the PlayStation Showcase here? That's weird.
They had one right here.
Oh, there it is. It's on page 7.
Jeez.
So, I mean, there were a bunch of cool games that they showcased. For example, Ninja Gaiden Final Fantasy Tactics. They're re-releasing Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a good game. You should play it. Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah,
Ninja Gaiden Ragebound. Pretty cool as well. There's a demo on there for the Next Fest, which we will be talking about next. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit. There's a lot of cool stuff.
Silent Hill.
Yeah. And Marvel Tokon. Oh, dude, Marvel Tokon. I'm gonna play that. And the James Bond game looks pretty cool. But at the same time, though, given a recent disaster that just happened, I'm not super excited about it anymore. We'll talk about that disaster later on, though. Oh, there's a bunch of other showcases that happened that we didn't know about, like this mixed summer showcase. What the hell is this all about? Man, there's so many games. I wish Gardner were here. He could tell us what's up. I hope he didn't forget about us.
I don't know if anyone can tell us what's up about all these games. There's just so many.
Yeah, no, I don't think no one person could keep up with all of these games.
That is the nice thing about us, like the three of us, is that we all have different genres we care about, and so we can all at least talk on them. Like fighting, Gardner loves his arcadey, like
he likes his RTSs too. He's a very RTS kind of guy too.
I like RTSs too, but like I'm a StarCraft kind of RTS person. Like Command and Conquer is great. If they come out with a new one, I'll buy it. But like StarCraft's my jam. First-person shooters and horror and all that, like that's my jam.
Yeah, you always seem like more of a 4X kind of guy, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay, do we want to be done with this and move on to like the spicy stuff that's going on with Game Pass? Because I think we could spend all this podcast episode on this because there's so many different games.
Yeah, but real quick though, I want to give a shout out to the Next Fest.
Oh, yes.
If you like demos, try out the Next Fest before it's too late. Given our typical release schedule, you'll probably only have a day to try out demos. I have a video on the Next Fest demos I liked. James, have you played any Next Fest demos?
No, but I have one that I potentially want to try out, and that's the Regex game.
Shit. I didn't see that. What is that?
No, it's so stupid. This is coming into the whole Next Fest is becoming a little bit of a slop show. Once again, like, don't get me wrong, like this is fun and all, in the sense of if you did it, this is a web browser game. This is probably web browser. They probably built this all on the web, which is fine. Not saying that's a bad thing. You can't release a game like this, but it feels so like you're just learning how to do regex, which if you don't know what regex is, it's just a fancy way of doing text parsing. So like, oh, hey, I want all the letter D removed from this big line of text. It's just a fancy way of doing that in programming.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's a demo for that. You got Lucky Club scratchers, so if you like scratching, if you like doing scratchers and not really winning anything, then you can do that.
Is this based on your preferences in games?
I don't know because I would not play. Well, I
Are
would
you
play Jaws of Hell, but
are you signed on to Steam right now?
no, I don't think I am. This is just no, I'm not.
You sign on to Steam. I want to open your Steam. It's not on the Steam right now. I want to see what the games they would recommend to you because mine doesn't look like that at all. Mine looks very different.
I'm gonna have to do a bunch of junk to get sign it. Give me a second. No one else scanned it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just not gonna.
no one else scanned it, dude. That means you have access to their account. I would hope no one scans this. Of course, you could always just blur it out and post.
They can't. It doesn't matter. It's a timed. By the time any of this will go out, that's what I was just messing.
Let's see what yours looks like, James. I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Dead as Disco. That looks interesting. Or sounds
Fan the Deck likes that. Wait. Unbeatable's up there. Unbeatable's pretty sick. It's a rhythm game.
Okay. Hey, I'm down for rhythm games.
Wait, what's that middle one down there? I heard about that middle one here.
Momo,
it's a weird one where you have to crush notes with your thighs. It's insane.
Gosh. Okay. That is interesting.
Right. Guys, we gotta scroll down though. Let's see. Jump Ship. I've played that. Looks pretty cool.
You played it? Did you like it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, but you need to have multiple players to like really enjoy it.
It's up to 4. Okay.
It's like FTL mixed with like an FPS as well.
GTFO, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
did you ever play GTFO? Get the fuck out.
I've never played it. Oh, Gardner messaged us.
Yeah.
It seems like he might not be joining us. Maybe. We'll see.
Okay, so Furiosis. Interesting.
Well, see if you want.
While you're doing that, I'm going to be looking at some of this stuff. You guys want a dinosaur game? Actually, it looks like Turok a little bit. Furiosis. Interesting. I mean, it is definitely like, it looks like an indie game, but I think I'd play this.
Yeah. Here, so I guess now's a good time to show you my Next Fest query. It looks very different.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, so what's going to happen if we share multiple screens?
I don't know. Give it a try.
I'm going to take over. Let's see.
Do it.
This is what mine looks like.
I need to...
Look, have you played Patapon? You should try Ratatan. It's awesome. It's another like rhythm game. It's like Pikmin, but you have to control them by issuing commands to them via rhythm like buttons. It's crazy. It's Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is pretty cool. I tried Hotel Barcelona. I didn't really jive with it, to be honest. Look, my game recommendations are totally different. It knows what I like.
It knows you like the slop.
It knows I like the slop. This one's really good though, Absolem. But that's if you're like into beat 'em ups. The trolley solution. What the hell is that?
How many people can you kill?
See, a trolley is approaching 5 people. What do? Do I kill one person?
It's probably gonna.
Huh. The fuck is this? Dude, what the...
Are you supposed to hit people? Is that the whole point? That's hilarious.
I don't think so.
Well, he hit someone on purpose. So.
Dude, what is this?
Or maybe it's like it's so complicated you have to find the way to only kill the one person and not everyone else. They kill the least amount of people. Yeah, it looks interesting.
It does look interesting, yes. Let's see. There are a lot of demos. Probably too many demos.
There's too much. Like, I don't know. It's really hard because I want more and more game devs to come out, but at the same time, I'm overwhelmed.
I think Valve should... I mean, I don't know, man.
Oh my gosh, the date everyone game is coming out still. I forgot about that. It comes out in 3 days. It's the date everything. Did you see? I swear we watched something on it a couple of months ago on live stream, and it's where you can date a refrigerator. I think on this, it's a dating sim though.
Speaking of dating sims, wait, why is this down here again? What the fuck? Oh, wait, no, Oh, wait, no, we were looking at your screen.
We're looking at mine.
That's pretty far down.
Gosh, who's at the door is terrifying.
Who's at the door?
Sorry, it's not on yours. I'm looking at mine still.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'll show you.
Let's see what the top chart. Oh yeah. You share yours.
I'll show you. No,
charts.
go ahead. Go look at the top charts, and then I'll show you what I'm looking at.
So, the most popular, the top demos, is Wildgate. What the hell is this?
I think Wildgate's been in the works for a while.
See, Vindictus Defying Fate. I played the original MMO like 10 years ago. I don't know what this is about though. Jump Ship, Dead as Disco, Imsys, Solo Leveling. Gosh, have you seen Solo Leveling?
It's such a good anime. Even if you don't, here's the thing, even if you don't like anime, I have friends that don't really care for animes. They love that show. It's so good.
Dude, it's so funny. People are saying he's aura farming. He has to look cool all the time. It's crazy.
Pretty much.
Yeah, let's see. Escape from Duckov? What?
It's supposed to be a take on Escape from Tarkov. So it's like a fun play on it. That's
Ball
funny.
X Pit. I haven't played that. Yeah, it's an MMO FPS. I don't know how much fun that would be, but see, no, I'm not a human. Oh, this is one of those weird like horror games. I gotta try it out before the next fest ends. See, UFL. Hey, look, is that our good friend Ronaldo?
He's not who we thought he was.
Yeah, he's not who we thought he was. See, there's a Starlight Revolver, Clover Pit, Ratatan. I don't know. It's not a bad idea to go through the main like top charts to see what's going on.
I think that's like, especially if you're overwhelmed, it's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
But I feel like you'd miss some good gems doing that still.
Yeah, you would, but honestly, finding good gems requires you to understand the filter system and really knowing what you like. Like
look at this. Here, I'm going to show you a gem. I'm taking over now. This is the gem. Who's at the door?
What the fuck is that?
It looks.
Holy shit! What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like they purposely made it this bad or they're just really not good at modeling, but like that is horrifying. That's what I wanted to show you. Should we move on to the next topic?
I think we should.
Okay. Let's do that. This was a topic we kind of added in last minute anyways. So, a developer who launched a game into Game Pass warns against it. So, I mean, this is no shock, right? Like, Revenge of the Savage Planet launched on Game Pass, but studio head Alex Hutchinson claims it devalues games. His thoughts was that being on Game Pass would encourage the sale of DLC or potentially word of mouth sales. But that turned out to not be the case. He hopes that the industry as a whole should only embrace subscription services, much like the current film industry does, exclusively in theaters first and DVD, Blu-ray later. That's never, like, they'll never be able to do it. Like, that's a really weird way to take it. Is to do like the film industry, because you just can't. I don't think you can do a game like that.
Well, no, I don't mean like Well, I don't think he meant like literally. I think he meant like it should be like where you release your game first. You know, release it for $60 or whatever. And
I know, but the analogy or like the comparison doesn't just it falls apart. Sorry, I'm getting caught up on it. Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with that. Release it first and then have it go to the Game Pass like a year later or something like that. But a lot of people are just going to wait. I don't know if it will change enough. For me, if I'm going to play a game on Game Pass, it's because I don't want to buy it anytime soon. So I'm waiting no matter what. I don't know.
True that.
I get it though. I wonder how much money they're making. I think some people also overvalue what their game is worth. And think they'd make a lot more money if they would have sold it, but because of like I never heard of Savage Planet. I don't know, maybe they didn't make a whole lot, but usually with those types of deals, you get like an upfront amount and then you get revenue. But if your game's unknown and you don't have a good marketing plan, it might not make anything. So you got to be careful. It's a double-edged.
I mean, honestly, man, I'm starting to believe that maybe. All right, so if you're not like a Microsoft game, if you're releasing on Game Pass like simultaneously, it feels like it's almost like a Epic Game Store style black hole of marketing.
There's a lot of people that are on Xbox Game Pass. A lot of people. I wouldn't fully put it into like the into Epic, but I do think it's a problem still. And I definitely want gamer developers to make money, but if you haven't noticed, look at how many games we just saw in Next Fest. I think the market's getting fractured, and I just don't know if there's enough. It's not even enough money, if there's enough time for people to be aware of everything and play games. To let alone find a game to play, to have the time to play all these different games.
Yeah.
It's really hard too, because like if I was a game developer, I don't think I'd release on Game Pass, but at the same time, I would be working with a marketing firm. Like when I release my game and whenever, I will probably work with a marketing firm or do a big marketing plan myself. If you don't like, a lot of game developers don't understand the business side of things, and if you don't, and you don't have a good marketing plan, your game's most likely going to fail. So it's better to at least risk it on Xbox Game Pass, I'd say.
It's just the business side of things is really hard when it comes to video games. I couldn't begin. Like we all act like a lot of content creators. Sometimes we all act like we're experts in this field, but realistically, we can't even predict. We can't even predict successes, to be honest.
No one because here's the thing. So as a software developer, and I've worked with a lot of startups, I've had to wear a lot of hats. I've had to do marketing content. I've had to do a lot of business stuff. And so you can't even really good business people have a hard time predicting things. I mean, Apple is how many $1 trillion company, and the Apple Vision Pro it's Apple Vision Pro or Apple Vision, whatever it is, did okay. Like they might not have done the marketing right on that, or had a good market feel for, or maybe they expected it to release not very well in the beginning and eventually adapt. It takes a lot of work, and not even big companies get it right, but indie developers, especially who are not versed in any type of business acronym, are not going. I just they have to figure it out. They either have to partner with someone or they have to find a way to get it viral, and virality is hard.
I don't know, man. So. It's. I mean, game developers, you should do whatever you feel is best for your game, honestly. But I mean, take it from
do whatever's best for your game. But if you want to make money, do you want it to release and not worry about? You want it to be out to as many people as possible. Like release it on Steam and don't worry about Game Pass, I guess. But if you want to make some money to hopefully make another game, it does matter.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's all good, man. I'm not super worried about this topic. I just thought it was interesting to talk about since, I think developers are starting to be more wary about Game Pass as a whole.
And I think rightfully so. I definitely think if you you can neuter your game if you're not careful. But I think some people see some success on here and then regret not doing it another way, and that's fine. But don't think that the other way was going to be successful too.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Be careful. Be careful what you wish for. I definitely think Game Pass is a great deal for gamers. Tends to be not as good of a deal for a lot of developers. So.
And honestly, man, developers talk. So if one had a bad experience with Game Pass, there's a good chance that others may just avoid it just from hearing about stuff like this.
Yeah. But what's going to happen if their game's just not successful because they just don't have the market or the platform? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes and see what ends up being like this successful route.
Yeah.
I would like to start like highlighting on my channel more indies, especially games that I think are worthwhile. But
only time will tell.
Okay. It's not an indie, but speaking of time will only tell, this looked interesting 6 months ago when I saw it during the Game Awards. I think they did a video on this. Mind's Eye. Is it going to be the worst game of 2025 high tech?
Well, chances are likely yes. It looks like it's going to be the worst released game of 2025. And it's broken in ways that like only Cyberpunk 1.0 were broken. And Sony actually started issuing refunds to people who bought this game, much like Cyberpunk 1, much like Cyberpunk 1.0.
Yeah, but Cyberpunk became successful.
It became successful. But people are saying that the game, like the underlying bones of this game itself, isn't that great to begin with, anyways.
Like not great, or they're really bad.
Like it's broken, very broken. I think that's what most of the issue is.
I didn't expect the game to be absolutely dreadful to play. Here's what happened in 2 hours. Shader compilation took 10 minutes. Okay, that I don't know why he added that. That's stupid. Unskippable 10 minutes cutscene. Okay, once again, game ran at 10 frames per second, so I messed around in menus. Okay, that's bad. Opened builder mode out of curiosity. When exiting build, this is the stupidest. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, guys, write better reviews. Just because a game took 10 minutes for a shader compilation, like, that's not that long.
Character has PTSD about being COD, Black Ops 7, Alien, Illuminati with Elon brain chip every 30 seconds. I could see that being annoying if it's every 30 seconds.
I honestly think this person is just crazy that wrote it. I think they're crazier than the people that built the game.
1.9 hour. All right, scroll down. Let's see the next review.
Yeah. It has great cutscenes. They spent all the budget on the cutscenes, no money left to hire playtesters. I actually, when I was watching the trailers, I'm like, yeah, they probably went way too high into the cutscene budget. So I agree with this. If the gameplay and everything else is not that great.
See, Mind's Eye, our expectations were low for me, but holy shit. Let's see, A, overanalyzed by video essays. B, sought by trophy hunters in the $5 bargain bin. C, if the delisted becomes the next ride to hell.
Here's where this game will stand in 5 years. That's funny. I mean, this is a better review than the first one. I don't mean to like review shame, but that was just like normal internet people just not understanding, like, whatever.
Let's look at some critical reviews from like IGN and whatnot.
Yeah,
I didn't link any of those, so you have to like. It's a 4 out of 10. IGN doesn't typically give anything below like a 6 at least.
They do this, but yeah, not very often, right?
Not very often, no.
That's bad. So if it's like a 4, think of it more like a 2.
IGN is very generous with their like.
Let's see, reviews. Wait, what? Are these different?
I think these are like people.
No, they're user reviews. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
they opened up the user. Where's their review?
Wait, go look it up on Metacritic. Like after this,
I just want to see.
Verdict.
Right. When its performance is stable and you're explosively blasting your way through robots, Mind's Eye can masquerade as a serviceable action shooter for a few minutes at a time. Its near future setting and driving feel also impress. However, its flashy graphics and cinematics can otherwise hide its distinct lack of substance. High on ambition but low on original ideas, Mind's Eye rigid mission design renders its open world largely pointless, and it's consistently undermined by a vanilla combat, janky AI enemies, and its sloppy frame rate and bugs. Throw in its insultingly unfinished free roaming components, and it's clear it was simply not released to be ready to be released. If you had your sights set on Mind's Eye, think again. I did have my
You did have your sights set on Mind's Eye?
I did. I actually was kind of excited for it, and no, I'm not.
You have to be terrible to get an IGN 4, because Cyberpunk 1.0 got a 9 on IGN when it was first released.
Here's the thing. If you played Cyberpunk 1 on a good PC, it was great. To hell anyone else says, I played it day one. Well, okay, I didn't play it day one. I played it like a week or two later because I didn't buy it right off the bat. But like, I played it with the time frame that everyone didn't like it. And it was I thought it was an amazing game then. It's a game for me though. So I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
it's fair to give it. I would have given it a 9 actually, even though I would have put the emphasis on if I did a review or if I did a video on it, I would have been like, I give it a 9. But if you have a crappy, if you, I shouldn't say crappy, if you just don't have a good computer, or if you're on the like PlayStation 4, do not buy. It's a no buy.
it's amazing how computers have progressed. The Steam Deck can run Cyberpunk at like 30 FPS. The Switch 2 can run at like 40 FPS.
The Steam Deck can run Cyberpunk at what?
Like 30 FPS.
Man, you load it up somewhere else though. Towards the end, it doesn't play very well.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm not overly happy about that, but yeah, okay.
But like, you have to be really bad. Like, Mind's Eye just, I guess, didn't have anything going for it. You have to be really bad if you get an IGN 4.
I mean, that's what it looks like everyone's kind of giving it is around a 4. The highest rating being a 50, maybe. I don't know. Let's
yeah.
see.
User reviews are...
There's no positive critic reviews.
Wait, go to the mixed reviews, though. Go to the mixed reviews. What do they say? There's only two.
Functional third-person shooter with neat-looking story sequences, but not much more. Mind's Eye is an excellent example of style over substance, a game that falls apart the moment you start playing. Why did they release it? I think anyone could have told you, like, just go and reconstruct it and add more to it. Like, another year in the oven on this probably could have saved it from a 4 and could have been, like, maybe a 7, and they could have made some money off of it. Now they'll probably make no money, and it'll be a huge... Like, who made this?
Well, you know, Sony refunded everyone that bought the game, right?
Sony,
no, Sony, they didn't. No, Sony didn't.
Yeah, but Sony... yeah.
They didn't publish it either. IOI published it. The guys that made Hitman. And the guys that are making the new 007 game.
Yeah.
It's not being developed by them, though. It's being developed by a couple of ex-Rockstar devs.
Interesting.
I don't know, man. It's a weird game now. Because it sucks.
I have a feeling that there's going to be worse game that comes out this year, but we'll see. Like, for a AAA title, though, it might end up taking the...
Okay, we're not counting shovelware. Like,
I'm not counting that either. I'm thinking like AA and AAA. Like, there's still some good game. Like, yeah, like Silksong. What if it comes out and it's horrible?
Dude, what if Silksong comes out and it's horrible? What if Half-Life 3?
Than Man's.
What if Half-Life 3 comes out and it's horrible?
What if
it's worse than Mind's
always
Eye?
I'd still play it. I'd cry through the whole thing, but I'd play it and give it a 10 out of 10.
Okay. Unbiased gaming journalism at its finest.
Well, here's the thing. No one's unbiased, especially in this type of an entertainment industry. If you say you're unbiased, you're an idiot.
Yeah, no one can be unbiased. It's just human nature.
If news can be a little bit less, but still is going to have some bias to it. You're still going to be biased a little bit. Okay. So with all that being said, does this bode well for the future of games?
Not for the future of whoever developed it. Developed Mind's Eye, that's for sure.
Well, GameStop thinks that the company's future isn't in games.
Not video games. They've been shifting towards trading cards, things like Pokemon cards, which they've made a shitload of money from.
Really? I didn't realize they made so much money from it. I went to GameStop the other day. It's been a month or two since I've been to GameStop because my son's getting to the age where he wants to go look, and I'm like, dude, awesome. This is great. Let's go look at some games in person. And just in like a couple of months, it changed greatly. There's a whole section where you can go look through Magic the Gathering cards. You can, Pokemon cards and stuff like that, which I'm kind of here for GameStop being like an all-around game store. So I'm hoping they don't go away from video games and used stuff. But I'm here for like all the different varieties that GameStop has.
I mean, I wouldn't imagine them going completely away from video games, but it's always a worry.
I think diversifying is good, especially for GameStop. I think if they go all in on just card games, I think they'll end up failing just again in a different way. So they definitely, I think it's smart to diversify.
They've also been getting into gaming paraphernalia, like gaming related merch as well, like not accessories for consoles and stuff, but like gaming T-shirts and like Funko Pops. By the way, Funko Pops are ugly
Yeah.
as sin. Don't buy Funko Pops.
Don't tell me and Kerrigan about that. My StarCraft Funko Pop.
No, you have a Funko.
I have a couple. I don't get them very often, but if it's something very specific, I'll get it. I have a couple. I'm not saying that they're the best. Like, I definitely wouldn't have like hundreds of them, but to each their own. For
I mean,
collecting.
like 1 or 2 is whatever, man. But like having a bunch of them, like, no, why, dude? You could buy Nendoroids, which are way better quality, but they don't make like every brand.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think they have a StarCraft Nendoroid, but who knows?
I gotta get my I gotta get the merch and something to decorate my backdrop with. Funko Pops it is. It's interesting though. GameStop is an interesting company, and I know a lot of gamers have hated the way that they do trade-ins and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, like, there's not a whole lot left. If you don't want any in-person stores to go, because I think Walmart's getting rid of their game section. Target, I don't think is going to, but they're slimming it down a little. Like, we're on the verge of not being able to go into a store and look at anything video games. So
That's true. Especially if companies go all digital. I mean, they're gonna cut GameStop off completely, and honestly, they may not even, have a choice in regards to staying in the video games industry, except for like maybe selling consoles and accessories and old games.
Well, and they also showcase. They're starting to become like that. All those like independent game stores where they have collectibles and stuff like that. They are selling collectible game stuff now. Like, if it's an old enough game, they have it behind glass. I saw Mario 64 in there. Like, I'm here for that. Like, if I need to go get my classics, sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious how long that would last, though.
Dude. So, like, here's my thing, too. GameStop is also known for screwing people, especially with poorly trained employees. Like, did you hear about the recent thing with the Switch 2?
No.
So there was a GameStop in New York, or I think somewhere up in like the Northeast area. They were stapling their receipts to the Switch boxes, and that in turn was damaging the like Switch 2 screens.
Okay, I'm gonna put a little blame on both sides. If a staple that's like a half an inch can damage, like, that's how close your screen is to the box, like the outside the box. Okay, like they should have put a little bit more padding in there, but yeah, that's why staple the receipt.
I don't understand. Like, why staple at all? Also, another thing too. I have a personal story. One of my old college friends, he pre-ordered a Monster Hunter Nintendo Switch. I mean, not necessarily a Monster Hunter Nintendo like 3DS back in the day.
Yeah.
With Monster Hunter 4, and they screwed him out of the pre-order for the. He gave them money too. They screwed him out of the pre-order for the like special edition Nintendo 3DS, and so he had to get a red one, and he was super duper pissed about that. I saw like,
GameStop has issues with pre-orders in the past. Not having enough, not conveying. I would say that's more leadership issues than, like, when you're talking about just a regular employee, like, that doesn't get paid anything. I don't know.
Yeah, clerical issues is bullshit too.
Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know where else you go for some of this besides Target, Best Buy. That's my worry, is that I like to go and browse in person every once in a while, especially if it's console based stuff. Games I don't care about, but I would love to try games. So I'd like game companies and hardware companies to team up more with Best Buy and GameStop, so I go try stuff out in person.
I mean, honestly, man, they've been downsizing the physical games like sections of like the big stores outside of Best Buy. Like Walmart, they've been like downsizing the games like section.
They're getting rid of it.
Yeah,
from my understanding, they're getting rid of the game section. I don't know if they're going to get rid of like consoles or like PCs, but like hardware wise, they might still keep it. But games they're getting rid of. Best Buy, from my understanding, they're downsizing that too, actually. So they could get rid of it too.
Yeah, like I remember there used to be huge kiosks where you could like demo the latest games on like Xbox, like on like a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can still kind of, like, my Best Buy has like I don't think it had the Steam Deck, but it had the Ally, and it's had a couple other handhelds and consoles, but yeah, sometimes they have newer games on it, but yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just sad seeing what's happening to the state of like brick and mortar games. Because I don't think I have any decent mom and pop shops near me that sell video games. So I know some people like to support those. You probably should if you have one nearby that you can support.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't
have a few, and I should support it more. It's just I don't know what it is. I worked at GameStop, so it's like my go-to. Not that I should have fealty to it, but I should. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes the vibe in some of those game stores can be a little off, but whatever. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how GameStop goes and if they'll have another GameStop like trading event, because what saved them was the whole I think a big part of it that saved GameStop was the whole what is that called again, with the stock market, right?
What are you talking about, Wall Street bets?
Yes, I think that's one of the things that kind of saved them, is that again overvalued, like people pumped a ton of money into it just to screw everyone over, and I think they at least walked away with some things that helped them, because they've been on the verge of bankruptcy for years now.
Yeah. But I don't know. GameStop is just... I don't know what to say anymore about them. Hopefully they'll figure things out. If not, then I don't know what we're going to do.
Then I guess we'll just have mom and pop shops, and hopefully they stick around. I mean, they don't usually do that well, so...
That's unfortunate.
It's just as gamers, we like a good deal, and we also like to do things online more and more. So we don't like to leave our house.
That is true.
And we're not going to be leaving our house a lot more because this game just came out. If you're a PC gamer, you're going to be wanting some alone time with Stellar Blade, I guess. Stellar Blade, man. As per Steam's own concurrent player counts, Stellar Blade has peaked at over 180,000 concurrent players, with the previous record being Ghost of Tsushima at 77,000, which is a crazy amount of difference there. Concurrent players. Any guesses as to why this could be the case, High Tech?
Well, my guess is, of course, that it's Stellar Blade. It's a game that, like, I don't know, people want on PC for a very, dare I say, specific reason. Yes, like Ghost of Tsushima is a good game, but there's no real incentive to mod it, whereas Stellar Blade apparently does.
So, a Stellar Blade is one of those ones where, from my understanding, like, it looks fun. I think I'm gonna buy it one day. We'll see. I have a bunch of other games, but it's a type of style of game that I'd play anyways.
It apparently runs well on Steam Deck too, 60 FPS. I tried the demo on Steam Deck.
Really?
Yeah.
There's another reason to support it, because I do like it when games run well on Steam Deck. Because I think we could all get a game, like, I think every developer could get their game to run well if they just optimized. But it's a little controversial, because a lot of gamers think, especially American or Western game developers, don't make pretty characters in games anymore, which is not necessarily true. And so it was also a controversial thing where I think a lot of people bought this just out of spite of like, well, it's a pretty character, so I'm going to buy it because of that. And so it's interesting that how well did it do on PS5? I thought it did decent, but I don't know.
I thought it did decent too, but I don't know.
Sounds like it might be doing better on PC.
It's hard to know for certain, to be honest, but what matters is there were a ton of people. Pull up the Steam charts. Maybe it's gone up again. No, it's almost 190,000. Shit.
Yeah, all-time peak. We'll see if it ends up getting to, like, after the first week or two, it usually won't, but interesting.
Yeah, man. Basically, so, I mean, Stellar Blade is fun. There was also a demo as part of the Next Fest, but it doesn't show up as part of the Next Fest anymore because the game's out, which I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, Stellar Blade's been doing quite well. And coinciding with Stellar Blade doing quite well is the fact that Sony lifted their stupid region lock So for those who don't know, Sony has been banning their games and has been not selling their games in regions where you can't get PSN on PC. But now you can do it. Buy games in like regions that PlayStation doesn't operate in again on Steam.
Yeah, that's.
Hold,
I mean, that's good. That's good that they're lifting that.
hold on. I have an idea. You should go on Nexus mods and see what Stellar Blade mods there are.
That's dangerous.
Come on, dude. Nexus mods can't host super explicit game like mods. I don't think.
I think you have to be signed in. Actually, yeah, I can't remember if they do host them or not.
So they have sort by top like most download, like sort by most downloaded or update or whatever.
Popular.
Stellar Blade facial beautification mod. Did Stellar Blade really need a quote beautification mod? That
no, it didn't. That's so bizarre. What a bizarre thing.
I don't think she looks better with blue eyes. That's kind of weird.
Don't say it like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't say it like, just be like, if you want to modify it, but like, she's already extremely attractive. So,
yeah,
okay,
you do you. Let's see. Oh, there's a couple of different outfits.
well, you're gonna get a lot of outfits in this. There's gonna be a lot. Yeah, yep. We're getting into a lot of things. Like, is thirsty. They're thirsty for this. Like, there's gonna be probably some of the thirstiest mods ever created are gonna be created for this game. So.
Dude, this is what the gamers want, man. This is what they want, and they put their money where their mouth were.
Were or what? So here's the thing.
Were? I don't know.
You're good. I think gamers want a lot of different things. It can be very immersion breaking when you put a character like this in, let's say, Fallout, where you're like, how are they going to look like that? But for Stellar Blade, it works, okay? Like, I'm fine with them doing that. But certain games, I don't need my character to be super attractive. If they're attractive, that's fine. I just don't need them to be super attractive.
What matters is that they look super duper badass, which I think is our next topic.
Yeah, let's see here. Is it this one? Wait, which one?
Yeah, it's Halo. I think you skipped the other one. That's super controversial. But it might be best to skip that.
Okay. I just don't know if I had it in my lineup. I thought I did.
Let's see. So, Halo is getting a bunch of features back, like Griff Ball and a bunch of other stuff that's listed in here as well. But they're bringing back the old Hayabusa armor set. You've played Halo 3, right?
Yes.
You remember the like the one that looks like Ryu Hayabusa's helmet and like armor, right?
Maybe.
Scroll back up. I think you'll see it. You'll know when you see it. This one.
Yeah.
Dude. They're bringing it back. It's awesome, and it's free too.
Free? They're not charging us?
Like, you can earn it for free.
That's cool. I like earnables like that. Okay.
Let's see. And there's Griff Ball. There's a bunch of other cool stuff. I just wanted to talk about it because it's awesome. It's crazy. I think it's crazy that they had to wait for Ninja Gaiden 4 to release to get a new Hayabusa armor set. But, yeah. It is what it is.
It's good that they're giving a lot of, like, it just doesn't feel like Halo though sometimes. Like, some of this doesn't feel like Halo to me. I don't know why.
Like the armor or like...
Yeah, some of the armor. But then again, unlockables and stuff, I get it.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Everything's got to be like kind of Fortnite now.
It's kind of what it's like you said, it's what the gamers want. They want unlockables. They want to be able to customize. They want to be able to be badass in their own ways. And so it's good that Halo's returning to some of their roots, I guess, but I don't know. Halo is one of those franchises where I think it's just going to eventually die off.
If it hasn't already.
Obviously, they're still building stuff for us, so it's still making them enough money, but I think they're going to have to plan. They're probably going to have to, what they're going to have to do is just like let this kind of die off. Then they're going to have to reboot the whole series in like 5 years, completely reboot it if they want to keep the IP going, because right now they're just killing it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of faith right now with 343. I don't think
there's any faith with, even if the OG devs themselves were here, they're already like anything that touches Halo. I feel like all the studios are just not doing well.
Yeah, I mean the guys behind Halo, they all left They all left Bungie, so even
Oh, that's
modern
true.
Bungie.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
I don't know where they are now, though, to be honest.
They're
But
probably retired on the beach.
I mean,
Everyone's dream. Game developers are special. They want to make video games, so usually they'll retire until later.
yeah.
Um,
So, I mean, Halo is out. Halo's fun. But you know what the gamers really want? Final
fake
Fantasy
stuff.
Tactics. Fake Final Fantasy Tactics quotes. So, Final Fantasy Tactics has a lot of interesting dialogue in regards to like inequality between like classism and whatnot, because it's very much based on like the War of the Roses, which has a lot of that too. If you're not familiar with it, it's under your current tab.
I just didn't understand. Okay, cool.
So there is one quote that sounds like it came from Final Fantasy Tactics, but it's actually not a real quote from the game.
Interesting. So,
There are a lot of lines that like read kind of like that. Like
I
that's
mean,
actually in the game. That picture.
yeah, what purpose do laws serve when even those who would enforce them choose not to pay them heed?
It's also written in like almost like the old English, almost the like
I
dialogue
thought
is
that was
like
the purpose of it.
Yeah, that was the purpose of it.
Okay.
Yeah, scroll down. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really funny, and they're bringing a lot of attention to this because that's one of the original writers of the game.
Weird. If the penalty for a crime is fine, then the law only exists for the lower class. I mean, does that so that doesn't exist or it does exist?
It does not exist. It's not an actual line in the game.
It's a
But
good line. I mean, it's true. Like if it's a fine, then
yeah,
it's
but he
only for
says
the
it's
lower
something that he
class.
probably would have written in the game. It sounds like something he would have written in the game
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
the game has a lot of like social commentary in regards to classism.
Right.
I thought it was a real. I just thought it was a really funny thing to talk about since Tactics is re-releasing pretty soon, and I'm gonna get it on my Steam Deck or Switch 2. I don't.
It's you better get it for the Steam Deck,
Dude, of course I'm
or
getting it
else
for
you're
the
gonna
Steam
be
Deck.
lose more followers or subscribers.
I might lose all 16,000 of my subscribers because of this.
All because you chose the Nintendo Switch 2. No, you'll be good. It's a
Honestly,
shame
man.
that line's not in there.
But yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of lines I've quoted that aren't in like movies and stuff I've watched.
Like, you know, like in Star Wars, people say the line is Luke, I am your father. But
Yeah,
that's not
that's
actually
one.
what he says. That's not
I
actually
say it
what
all
he
the
says.
time. I know it's not, and I still say it. I'm just like,
No.
it sounds too good. I'm going to say it. Also, my son's name is Luke, so I say it to him all the time.
Luke, I am your father. Dude, that's
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
see. Dude, we're just
You know what's-
we're just spitballing here, man. We're not really talking about the topic.
No, we're not. You can talk about some more. It's a topic that I don't know a whole lot because I haven't played Final Fantasy Tactics.
Well, I mean, there's no whole lot to say, man. Besides,
At
it
least
was,
I haven't
it
played
was
that
really
much
funny.
of it. It's
There
good.
is,
It's good.
I think there is one other topic right after that is more near and dear to our hearts because we're all YouTubers. And honestly, it sucks. So, how do you feel about YouTube introducing more unskippable ads?
I feel good about it. I like ads. How else do I know what to buy?
By watching your favorite content creators, of course, like us. Like and
Ad 1
subscribe.
of 69.
Listen, man, ads are ridiculous. I do not like ads. It's no secret. Ads are horrible. Ads suck. I bet you could save a lot of time if you just had less ads in general.
So, yeah, but that's how we pay for our like YouTube is a free service. They pay for it somehow. And so content creators get paid through ads and premium services. Premium listen, it's not YouTube Red, YouTube Premium, whatever it is. But there's a balancing act. And YouTube is going to be learning this soon is you've got to balance what the user of your website, this very 101 business and like developer kind of stuff. You got to balance what the user is willing to put up with. And when you start doing more and more unskippable ads, you're just going to lose them. You're going to also need to change the way you do ads. You probably are going to have to require like smaller ads, like 5-20-second ad. Like we cannot have these hour-long ads sometimes, which I think there was a little bug with that where I think some people got unskippable like hour-long stuff, but
I would just stop using YouTube if that happened to me multiple times. Like legitimately.
Yeah.
You couldn't watch anything. You couldn't watch the thing you wanted.
You can watch it. You just take you an hour to get there.
No.
So here's how those hour-long ones, people can promote their own videos, and that's where those long, they're not technically ads, they're just videos people are promoting and you get it. I could, like, as long as you make a big enough stink about this, I do think, like, don't say I don't want no ads and stop using ad blockers, because this is just going to, like, they have to make the money up somehow. It's going to make them continue to do even more stuff. But we can complain about, you know, one ad out of like 3. Damn it, just do one ad, or make it so I can have a preference. I can have multiple ads throughout my video. I can have like 3 ads at the beginning to pay for it. That's fine. But like, let's figure this out in a reasonable way that works for both sides, because you're not going to get away from ads unless you pay for it. Unless you pay for light. And it sounds like ads are coming to light.
Man, YouTube. Okay, listen, man. I get the purpose of Netflix Lite, because you can't access Netflix for free anyways. But, like, I don't understand the purpose of YouTube Premium Lite when YouTube is a free service in and of itself, because they say you're getting less ads. But what does that really... Well, can they really quantify that?
It's not a free service. You are the product.
It's free, right? And I don't have to pay money. But yeah, you are the product. It costs it costs something, whether it's your time or your data. But yeah, it's not reasonable to say people should stop using AdBlock, because, I mean, the internet is nigh unusable without AdBlock. The FBI recommends you have AdBlock. That's how bad it is.
Sure, but here's the problem, is that if you're consuming content that has AdBlock and you like it, it's going to go away. And it's theft. In my opinion, it's theft. That being said, if it's so bad that you have to use AdBlock, I kind of get it. But we should be doing a more ethical way of doing that, and just either not consuming that or trying to find a way to consume the content we like without having to go the AdBlock route. I get some websites though. I'm using it right now because we're streaming. I do have AdBlock because I just don't want to have advertisements on a stream. But that's on this. On my other account, I have ads enabled typically for most things. Unless the website's unusable, then I enable it. So
you could
disable it for YouTube, but I don't know.
Well, here's my thing though. Like, we don't really get a choice in whether or not we monetize. Like, some people will say, oh, it's our fault for over-monetizing content. But, like, YouTube's pushing out a new policy where even content that's being published by non-partners, that's getting advertisements. Even, like, really short, like, 30-second funny clips are getting a bunch of advertisements, too. Like, not, like, shorts, but, like, they're YouTube videos in and of themselves. Those are still getting ads, too.
Here's the problem, though. Those hosting and all that still costs money.
It does.
Now, YouTube is probably going to make a lot more money off that than, than what's being spent on infrastructure. So they definitely got to fine tune that, or else it looks bad. And that's the stuff. I'm fine with this, like, raging against certain things like that, but we've got to have this balance of understanding, like, you've got to pay for the service that you're using in some form or fashion, because it costs money to run.
Okay, but also YouTube has Google has the means to research how to bypass ad blocks. And they certainly have done so in the past as well.
Right.
And people won't, and so Google can certainly do so. And not to mention they control, like, browsing as a whole. Like, they have like 90% share, like, whether it's
Chrome's getting sold off, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Manifest v3, if you recall, that basically makes uBlock Origin not work as well as it should.
Yeah.
And as a result, I mean, they can feasibly prevent ad block from working. And
I
they
just don't I don't know where you find a happy medium, because it's like if they had full reign of ad block on YouTube and everyone ran ad block on YouTube, who's paying for YouTube? YouTube will just collapse.
the ideal solution would be to subscribe to your favorite content creators through Patreon. Like support them more directly.
But that doesn't.
People won't do that.
Who
I
is
understand.
paying for the platform? YouTube. We host our podcast, and
Yeah.
even with our numbers, it eats up tons of resources. YouTube is $1 billion to run YouTube, multi-billion dollars. So,
But they also still get our data too, and data is where it's at. Data is where I would argue that's probably where most of the money is at, to be honest. Like Microsoft sees it that way. They don't care if you pirate Windows. As long as you're using Windows and you get all this sweet data, I don't think
well,
they care.
they have a lot of other services that go along with it. They had Windows free forever. They just, yeah, they don't care because they make their money off a lot of other things. YouTube, though, I agree, data is king, but it's not as king anymore in the business world. Like data is just it's so saturated now. I still don't know. I think there's this is a balancing act. I think if we are going to be up in arms too much about the ads, then you'll kill off YouTube. If you don't, but then again, you need to be just angry about certain ones. Sorry, I'm going on this whole tangent. I think there needs to be, there ads, premium light, of course, should not include the music and everything. But even the premium's been going up every year by like $5. That's where I'm kind of complaining too. It's like every year I feel like premium goes up by like $5 to $10.
I mean, I don't know if there will ever be an ethical way to show ads, but I think unskippable ads is not the way to do it. Because let's think about it. If you like long unskippable ads, I should say. If it's like 5 seconds, I don't really care.
I agree with that, yeah.
But like, if it's a long, like 30-second unskippable ad, then no, that's not the way to do it. They should always be skippable because like we said, data may not be as big of a deal, but it's still a big deal. Like they can record you pressing that skip ad button, and that means you're engaging with the ad, even if it's not in the way that they want you to engage with it, which is like click on the link, right? So that still shows that you're actively paying attention to the ad to skip it. So, like, yeah. I think unskippable ads does no one any favors.
Ads work. I mean, when I get an ad and it's with it, like, as long as you can convey in 5-10 seconds kind of what it is, and I look at it and I can skip it, I have bought stuff because of ads. But we've got to get back into, like you said, like, we just 5 seconds. I mean, 30 seconds isn't too bad depending on how long the video is. As long as there's only one ad in the whole video and it's 30 seconds, I can deal with that at the beginning. Kind of like this video has been paid for by this ad in 30 seconds. The problem is that like, I feel like there's always tons of ads. I don't know. Like it's interesting. I mean, I've put sponsorships in my videos though, but they're skippable.
I mean, sponsorships are also a different thing entirely.
Yeah.
As they're not like, because some creators like do a pretty good job of integrating the sponsorships. Like they make it part of the content. And
True.
And depending on how the sponsorship deal works, I mean, sometimes the entire video is one big sponsorship because they use that product in the entire video, right? Like,
yeah, and
that's
people do not like that too.
Yeah, I mean, people don't like it too.
It's interesting.
But
yeah,
sometimes
people are not going to like any. Like it's interesting.
Yeah, like let's look at Linus Tech Tips AMD Extreme Tech Upgrades. Like the entire video is sponsored by AMD, and they give $5,000 to like whatever Linus Tech Tips employee is featured that week, and they get to use it to buy shit. And like the entire thing, basically, I think the stipulation is it has to be an AMD system if they're upgrading their PC. But like people don't hate that. I think it's just a lack of creativity when it comes to like, or maybe just being blatant shills. I mean, it's hard to review a product that you get for free and people not call you a shill because people just think you're biased. Because, well, here's the thing though, they didn't give me money for it. They give me a product to evaluate and tell the
Yeah.
truth, right? I mean,
Yep.
that's the best. That's the best we can do. Like, if they sponsor a video, if a video is sponsored, then most good content creators like Fan the Deck and like the rest of us, I would imagine, they would explicitly mention that it's a sponsored video and that this is not a review. Like, they wouldn't frame it as a review.
Yeah. I hear you on that. If I like it enough, I don't know. I do try to preface that, but if I like it enough, I definitely like to promote stuff, whether it's sponsored or not. I
Yeah.
prefer to not have to pay for things and make it so that it's easier on me, especially like micro content creators like ourselves, where we're smaller, tend to need that one up at times in order to actually make it.
Quite so. Quite
Okay.
so. Yeah.
It's such a dilemma because honestly, like, I love YouTube. I don't mind ads, but I also pay for premium, so I don't like the ads, obviously. As long as there's a way for everyone to kind of get what they need and want. But YouTube's a business. They're going to always be trying to push for making more money every year. It's a little unethical too on that side. So like, as people that have ad blockers and kind of steal the content, I think it's unethical, but I also think YouTube and corporations are a little unethical too. So it's kind of, the person that kind of gets screwed is the content creator.
I mean, the real issue though is that there isn't really a decent alternative except for fucking TikTok, I guess, for video content creation. But like, who the fuck's gonna watch a podcast on TikTok?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of podcasting stuff.
Like,
Do you
there's like we
think
can upload like clips, but I mean, we barely make clips to begin with, and we definitely couldn't fit a full episode of Off the Console on TikTok.
no?
I think there's a
But
like 10-minute limit.
I do think YouTube is playing a dangerous game, and we could, because it's getting easier and easier to publish to multiple platforms. And if I can like go to a service, like I'm gonna try to implement myself to release a video on 2 or 3 platforms, then cool. Like, I'll, as the consumer, as long as the content creators are on the platform I want, I'll go there. But we'll see. I think it's something that we're gonna see how it really affects. I know that people have talked about YouTube killers in the past, like services. I just, there's always the chance that YouTube could be killed off, but we'll see. I also don't believe it fully, but there's a chance. The last thing though that I didn't think was ever going to happen, but we're getting a Spaceballs 2. And kind of just ending the podcast on a fun note. It's fun. Mel Brooks is 98 years old.
That's crazy.
He's 98 years old, and I'm sure he's wanted to, if I remember correctly, he's wanted to make a Spaceball 2s for a while. And so it is, as long as he can make it to 2027, he'll be like 100, 101 when it releases. That is crazy. What a legacy. And I just want, like, I don't know about you, High Tech. I liked Spaceballs growing up quite a bit. Super cheesy, whatever. I'm hoping for another cheesy, fun run in Spaceballs 2. But just seeing Mel Brooks at the end of the trailer talking about it, I was like, wow, he's a pretty spry 98-year-old. And it's just shocking that
Dude.
40 years later, which he was already old in Spaceballs 1. I mean, 60, I guess, not that kind of old, but it's still crazy. Have you seen Spaceballs?
Did when I was a little kid, so I don't remember too much. I do know it's a Star Wars parody.
It's a Star Wars parody. Yeah. And it's super cheesy, but it's fun.
Dude.
It's really fun. And they throw a lot of shade in that trailer because it's like, finally, after all these things and after these reboots, and they throw a little shade at Star Wars. It's just like,
I wonder how they're gonna parody the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy, since I know Spaceballs predates either of those.
well, they're going to parody it. That's what I think will happen, is that we're going to see some type of probably melding of both into it. So I'm I can't promise it's going to be a good movie, but it looks like it will be a fun movie.
I mean, I'm down for fun. What matters is that, you know, it's authentic.
I got to get going though. Okay, awesome. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure to also go to some links in there for podcasts if you want to subscribe to us on other podcasting platforms and listen to us somewhere else like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Please do so. Thank you guys for watching, listening, and being who you guys are. Amazing, amazing listeners and watchers. So thanks again. High Tech, anything else you want to end with?
Nothing in particular, but just have a good day.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. Have a good day, guys. Peace out later.
Later. All right. Bye-bye.